Welcome to our DC 9/11 Truth event. We're here at the Washington Tea Party for 9/11 Truth. Citizens of the United States, brothers and sisters of Washington, Virginia, Maryland, and all honorable servants of the great republic, the day of reckoning is upon us. The lies and deceptions of the tyrannical elite within our government, especially regarding the misleading 9/11 Commission investigation and cover-up of the devastating attacks of September 11, 2001, have infected our beloved democratic process and usurped our liberties for far too long. The executive, judiciary, and U.S. Congress are hereby advised that the citizenry of these United States hold an uncompromising demand for an exhaustive investigation, reinvestigation of all public testimony, physical evidence, and scientific analysis and reports as they relate to the physical destruction of life and property inflicted during the attacks of 9/11-2001.
Thank you for coming, everyone. I'd like to congratulate DC 9/11 Truth for being able to assemble this event at such short notice. And I want to assure everybody that this paper shredder is the original Oliver North paper shredder. Oliver North's original paper shredder operated by Fawn Hall back in November and December 1986. And I think this one actually goes back to the Watergate paper shreddings of the summer of 1973. Now this event is merely a part of a nationwide mobilization against the big lie of the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow Commission. Today is December 16th. On December 16th, 1773, there was a meeting in the Old South Church of Boston, presided over by Samuel Adams. And at a certain point, Samuel Adams said, "We can do nothing more to save the country." And a group of people dressed as Indians came in and ran to the Boston docks and threw the tea into the harbor. And throwing the tea into the harbor was the rejection of the tyranny of George III. Of course, today we've got George II, and the tyranny has become worse. But the popular mobilization goes on. So, the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow report, this infamous, discredited tissue of lies, is being thrown today into Boston Harbor as we speak. Amen. On the other side of this great continent, in San Francisco, there's an event of the Northern California 9/11 Truth Group. They're throwing the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow report into San Francisco Bay, and it'll flow into the Pacific Ocean. All right. In Milwaukee, there is a tea party at the waterfront. They're going to throw the infamy of Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow into Lake Michigan. All right! In St. Louis, there's another group of activists that are going to throw the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow report into the Mississippi River. All right! In Philadelphia, another cradle of liberty, a group is going to throw the report into the Schuylkill River. And it'll flow into Delaware Bay. All right, so we're kicking the dead horse of the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow report. We're going to show what the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow report is worth, and we're going to shred it using Oliver North's paper shredder from so many years ago. And we are going to show that this is a worthless report that has got to be repudiated as a tissue of lies. Is it a tissue of lies? Just a couple of facts that everybody ought to know. We're going to list exhaustively a whole series of facts about it, but just some of the ones that are official mainstream facts accredited in the official mainstream media. First of all, we have the question of Able Danger. Able Danger is a group of people who are supposedly watching terrorists. I would say they're people who control terrorists. A limited hangout of Able Danger, a group of the Defense Intelligence Agency and the Special Forces Command, was made by Congressman Kurt Weldon of Pennsylvania. And one of the reasons he was destroyed in the last election by scandals was not so much because he's a Republican and he deserved it, although he did, but because he had gone into this, he had delved into the area of Able Danger, getting very close to the terrorist controllers who actually ran Atta and the rest of these double agents. Colonel Philpott and Schaefer, Captain Philpott, Colonel Schaefer of the Able Danger Group, went to Zelikow in Afghanistan and said, Zelikow, you've got to look into Able Danger. This entire thing was suppressed. The commission covered it up, and then when it was exposed, they lied to the public. That's one. Then we have the question of perjury. In their impudent book, Unprecedented, Lee Hamilton and Governor Kane of New Jersey, the Blue Blood, tell us that they knew during the time of the hearings of the commission that the top generals from the Pentagon and the North American Air Defense Command were committing perjury during the hearings concerning many issues, concerning the timelines, the precise details of when jets were scrambled, when they were not scrambled, and what they did. They knew that perjury was being committed. And what did they do? They had a special secret meeting with Zelikow, and they decided what to do. And of course, what they decided to do was nothing. Cover it up. So a second point, it's established in the public print that perjury was committed. Here's another one. Bob Woodward, of course, having access to the corridors of power behind me. Bob Woodward says in his book, State of Denial, that there was an emergency meeting asked for by CIA Director Tenet with Cofer Black, the State Department anti-terror czar, with Condoleezza Rice, at that time the head of the National Security Council, in that building over there, the infamous old executive office building. An emergency meeting. And was this mentioned in the Kane-Hamilton-Zelikow report? No mention. This important meeting was covered up. So that's two. That's actually three. Then we have little questions of perjury. How about the exchange between acting FBI Director Picard and John Ashcroft? Picard said, Ashcroft came to me and said, don't talk to me about Al-Qaeda. And Ashcroft said, no, that's not true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of these two individuals is committing perjury. Which one? I say Ashcroft, but it should be investigated. But Kane, Hamilton, Zelikow didn't care about that. They were perfectly happy to have perjury. The commission also, in my view, much more grave. They ignore the main pieces of evidence of the day. The infamous Angel is Next telephone call coming in, the death threat to the tenant of the White House telling him with an ultimatum what it is that the coup faction behind 9/11 wanted him to do. And of course that telephone call came in complete with top secret code words from across the tops of the relevant federal agencies, the Department of Defense, the CIA, the National Security Agency, and so forth. That is the one moment of the day when the actual coup faction spoke, delivered their orders, delivered an ultimatum, and naturally Kane, Hamilton, Zelikow are not interested. There's also the question of the 15 to 20 drills being held that day. Drills to suppress air defense, drills that mimic all-out thermonuclear war. The drill at the National Reconnaissance Office talking about crashing planes into buildings. The Amalgam Virgo shooting cruise missiles from barges and boats and hitting targets in the continental United States. Also completely ignored. The White House behind me is going to insist on his policy of lunatic escalation of the Iraq War. And in doing so, and we've seen this already, he will be citing what? He will be citing 9/11. He will be harping. He will be insisting the lessons of 9/11. Atta, Bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, the cave, the laptop, the entire absurd lunatic myth of 9/11 as codified by Kane, Hamilton, Zelikow.
7. That given the 10. The claim that the core of each of the Twin Towers